Well, this season will kick off year 5 of the Jimbo Fisher era in College Station. Texas A&M still waiting on him to deliver that one thing, a national title. Aggies entered 2022 with arguably the highest expectations after an offseason that saw the program land a historic recruiting class. Before that last year, able to give over that hump in the conference known as Alabama, will have to do it again along with improving their record of 8-4 from a season ago. Now, it's hard to kind of argue with too much with the 34-14 record and 3 Big Bowl wins in 4 seasons. But he's only had 1 year so far with fewer than 4 losses. Everything, though, in place for Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies to contend for a national title for the first time since 1939. Is this it in year 5? Checking it out, senior college football writer Dennis Dodd here at HQ. And Dennis, simple question here. Is this the year that he finally gets over the hump, Jimbo Fisher, and delivers for Texas A&M?
No, Brandon, it's not. And I think in all Aggies in their heart of hearts would tell you that. I think they'd agree. This is sort of a gap year for the Aggies. They have that #1 recruiting class, but how many of those 8 5-stars are going to contribute? I talked to Jimbo Fisher about that. He said some will have to, because if you don't play them, they're going to be gone in 3 years anyway. But it's one thing to play them. It's another to have a meaningful impact on a team that's really, really good. Although coming off an 8-4 season in which they underachieved despite beating Alabama. And I would argue that Jimbo Fisher has underachieved given the backdrop of that 10-year, $75 million contract. So as I said, this is a gap year. This is when the Aggies go backpacking in Europe to find themselves, to use a college analogy. And they come back in 2023 very, very strong. They've got their quarterback, who we're going to talk about, Haynes King. They've got a very athletic defense, but they have to go to Alabama. And it's a long, long way from Alabama and Georgia to the 3rd best team in the SEC.
It starts with the quarterback, and Haynes King, he's winning the job there. He did start the first 2 games a year ago before suffering a season-ending injury there. What does he bring to the table now in 2022 as QB1?
Well, as weird as it sounds, experience. This is his 3rd spring, Brandon, under offensive coordinator Derek Dickey. He played sparingly in 20 and then played those 5 quarters last year in which he beat Kent State, but then got injured in the 2nd game of the season and was lost for the year. But the reason Jimbo Fisher likes him, and he was the likely choice anyway, great speed, 22 miles per hour. If you put that in horse terms, you could race a horse, I guess, but that's pretty fast for any human, 22 miles per hour. So he's got the legs, he's got the arm. He was the #7 dual threat quarterback coming out of Longview, Texas, and has plenty of upside to go. I saw some criticism on message boards from Aggies about him. He's got to be the guy. Max Johnson, the transfer from LSU, threw for 2,700 yards last year, but career-wise, he's had some problems in crunch time and in the 4th quarter, completing less than half of his passes. So Haynes King is the guy with the arrow pointing straight up at A&M.
He has pressure there, entering as the quarterback there for Jimbo Fisher.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.